Hey guys, hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Your boy is back with another subreddit video, and yes, I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday because I'm filming it the same day. Today we are going to be exploring r/AITAH, which is am I the a-hole, except it's a different one from AITA. This one's a little bit more generally broad, but we're still going to be looking at different scenarios in which people are looking if they were the a-holes in the situation or the other parties, or was everyone involved. We're going to be reading whatever is best on this subreddit today, so I'm super excited because every time we read these, there's always some insane scenarios. If you're new to my channel and you enjoy this video, make sure you guys hit the subscribe and the notification bell because we do it every single day on this channel, and it will help me towards my goal of 20,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone who's been supporting so far. Also hit the like and comment section down below. It helps me a lot with the algorithm. And if you want to support the channel further, I have a Patreon set up. First link in the description box down below. If you're a Patreon member, you'll get exclusive extended content every single day, an extra 10 to 20 minutes of footage. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Oh yeah, and thank you to all the deluxe members. All right, so r/AITAH. Wait, what? Hold up, this one's an updated one. Oh wait, sorry, I gotta reset the screen. All right, there we go. Am I the a-hole for calling my husband a disgrace after he said my miscarriage ruined his birthday? Your husband said that? You need to leave, brother. What? No, I'm just saying, but like, hold up, what? And there's an update. Okay, let's read this. All right. A kind Reddit user informed me that this was the best way to do an update rather than adding a comment to my previous post, so hopefully this reaches the right people. Wait, where's the original post? Let's go look for the original post first, and then we'll read the update. All right, so we got the original one here. All right, advice needed. Okay. I miscarried yesterday afternoon about 12 p.m. I'm really sorry. That sucks. Like especially if you want, like we're aiming to have a kid, like miscarriages are it's just so unfortunate. It sucks. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. Then she also said, I've never had one before, and this baby was so wished for. Oh no, that sucks. And it's also fresh, and I'm sobbing right now. So I apologize in advance if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. My husband turned 27 yesterday. Dude, that sucks. And for it to happen on your husband's like birthday, well, based off of what this tells me, your husband sucks, but a good husband would be like, damn, this is like double whammy, you know? Man, that sucks. But obviously, dude, birthdays come every year. Miscarriages don't come every year. So, I mean, like, I feel like that would take priority. Anyways, I, who's 26, female, was pregnant with mine and my husband's, who is 27, second child. Yesterday, I was 8 weeks pregnant. Damn, 8 weeks in. Damn. The day before yesterday, we saw a beautiful heartbeat flickering on the screen, and today I'm devastated. Man, that sucks because you just saw how like the heartbeat and everything right before this. I was playing with our 2-year-old when I felt a pressure on my lower abdomen. Sorry. Not long later, I noticed bleeding, and I let my husband know immediately that I had discomfort and bleeding. Before long, I had passed what I believed is the fetus, and I messaged him, I think I lost the baby. I wanted to keep him updated. I guess I was seeking some kind of emotional support. I asked if he could come home, and he said, of course, if it's urgent. What do you mean, if it's urgent? Brother, what? This is your baby. What? I said, I think it is because the pain and, I guess he means if it's, okay, so maybe she didn't specify everything before he said that. Okay, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I said, I think it is because the pain and bleeding is getting worse, and I'm starting to feel lightheaded, and our 2-year-old son is unattended in his playroom right now. We had no friends or family near that I could call who would get to us quicker than he could. I had to clean up myself, crawl downstairs to take paracetamol. I'm guessing some type of pregnancy medication. Make my son his lunch and then put him down for a nap. At this point, my husband still isn't home. He worked approximately 30 minutes away and took closer to 60 minutes to get back. Hours later, when I asked, it was because he stopped at Tesco to pick up some beers. Oh no, brother. What? This guy sounds so bad so far. Like, not a good husband. I ended up very poorly, losing lots of blood, lightheaded, vomiting, etc. And he had to take me to the AE. By the time I was discharged, it was almost 8 p.m. Last week, I had said I'd make him his favorite dinner for his birthday, which he reminded me when we were almost home. I said I wasn't feeling up to it and that whatever takeaway he wants is on me. That already is so sweet of you. You don't even have to do that, but that is very nice of you. Like, you're a nice lady for that. You literally just went through one of the most heart-wrenching things in the last 8 hours. You cannot expect to be cooking this man anything. And then I said I wasn't feeling, and he said, for F's sake, under his breath. What? Dude, this guy is, who is this man? What a villain. Why is he, do you think, does he think he's the main character, like, of the world? Like, what the fuck? Dude, your wife just went through all that and you're not going to be there for her? This sounds like an awful guy. I'm sorry to OP, but so far at least. Under his breath, and then he muttered something along the lines, this is BS. This BS has ruined my birthday. Dude, you just lost your kid, your second kid. How the fuck do you not care? He didn't stop to get any takeaway. He just drove straight home. Bro, what? I'm still trying to like fathom this because he's 27. I'm 27. Let's say I just turned 27 or 28. Let's say my birthday coming up and I had well, I don't have a wife, but let's say I do have one. We have a second kid, miscarriage. I would be bummed and I would think that it's like, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. I would think like, damn, like this is a really not great birthday this year. But I would see what my wife is going through and I'd be like, damn, like, I'm so sorry. Hey, how about like, we take it easy tonight? Honestly, if you want, you can have your own space. I'll play some video games and I'm going to get the most fire takeout ever. And I would love for you to eat with me, but I completely understand if you can't. And then I would order the fattest fucking feast from like, oh, I would get sushi. Definitely. Okay, I'm getting on a tangent now. I'm so hungry. All right, but yeah, what an ass face. He drove straight home. He put our son to bed, and I went to bed. I'm not sure what he did after. I didn't see him this morning as he left for work. He's not messaged me at all today, and he got home a few hours. A few hours ago. It's now 8:40, and he's giving me the silent treatment. What a dude. She didn't choose to have a miscarriage, dude. Like, you think this was by choice? Like, it was a plot to ruin your birthday? Brother, what the freak is wrong with you? I tried to speak to him about an hour or so ago, and he ignored me. And I called him a disgrace. He slammed the bedroom door and locked me out of his bedroom. His mom has since messaged me and said that I need to be patient as he's also had a loss. Oh, okay, so maybe giving him a slight benefit of the doubt, maybe this is his response to him losing a kid. However, is not looking good so far, and you should, even if that is a reason for your acting, that's not an excuse. It's very rude the way that you're treating your wife. She didn't ask how I was or anything, his mom. He's obviously speaking to his mom, but why isn't he opening up and speaking to me? She said that I was harsh. I'm feeling utterly emotionally neglected right now. My body has been through a lot of emotional and physical hell. I understand that a miscarriage came at an inconvenient time for him and it was his birthday and all, but I'm not sure if my hormones make me feel crazy, but is it nuts to contemplate divorce? Am I the a-hole for calling him a disgrace? Fuck no, you're not. He is a complete asshole for treating you the way that you're being treated. Granted, the situation that you guys are in. Like, that's so crazy. Let me read the comments before we read the update. Not the a-hole. I can't imagine spending another minute under the same roof as someone this horrible, immature, and this cruel man. Yes, this miscarriage of a pregnancy can be a huge loss for a man too, but it doesn't give him the right to be so selfish and treat you so cruelly. Yeah, he's not the one that's going through the actual pain. Like the actual physical pain. Your husband has shown a side of him that he can never hide again. Ask yourself if this is the kind of man you want in your life moving forward. I'm so sorry for your loss. Damn, for real, dude. That's a great comment, actually. All right, let's read the update. All right, I should have clarified in my original post from last week that the way my husband responded was completely out of character for him. He's usually a caring and supportive man and is a good husband and father. Well, he showed his true colors, though. The only incident where he's shown any kind of red flags when I put together an accident chair. I used a screwdriver to attach the legs to a seat, and when he came home from work and saw what I had done, he jumped onto it until it broke to show that I didn't do it properly. What a fucking child. What? The fact that he would rather break a chair just to show that you did it wrong rather than just tell you, hey, you might have done it wrong, and then like teach you. Even then, I personally, if you're in a healthy relationship, okay? Now, if you're in a spiteful, like he's like passive aggressive, maybe he does shit like this. But if you're in an actual healthy relationship, a guy would just be like, by the way, you probably shouldn't have done that. Laughed at it because it's a fucking chair. And then he help if you know how to help. My dumb ass probably wouldn't even know that that was something wrong and probably just sat on it and broke it by accident. But that's completely different. And that I should have waited for him to come home. Dude, not all women need to be that dependent on you. Like, what? He'd been under a lot of stress at work, so I asked him to go into therapy, which he did, instead of pulling the divorce card straight away. We have been together for 7 years. Wow. In May, and he's the only partner I've ever known. See, that's the scary thing. When you're in something so deep and someone, starts changing or acting a different way, it's a big decision, big decision. I'm not going to be the one to make it for you, but it's not looking good so far. My family all love him, and I have accepted him from day one. I also have to clarify, yes, I know he was an asshole in the scenario. I wasn't questioning that. What I was questioning was whether I took it a step too far in calling him a disgrace. No, you didn't. He's going through a lot of work at the moment. It was his birthday. I've been messaging him and telling him, yeah, but like what I don't want OP to do, yeah, it could have been handled better. You could have not called him a disgrace. But at the same time, you can't put the blame on yourself is what, I don't know. I've been messaging him and telling him that I'd carried his child and that he would have to leave work early. And then I called him disgrace after he'd taken me to the hospital and was responding to the grief in his own way. Yeah, but he still treated you badly. Like the murmuring under his breath, like for goodness sake or for whatever, like for fuck's sake. I think the majority of people said that I wasn't the asshole in the situation, and due to his behavior that my insult was justified. And thank you to everyone who reached out, checked in, offered me condolences and emotional support. I've read all the messages and I've tried to read most of the comments. Most of them have been very kind and useful, and a lot of have helped over the past few days. I had a scan yesterday which confirmed that everything has passed successfully. Some people may remember that I was very worried about retaining tissue due to my fever over the weekend. Also, my tonsillitis has, okay, so there was other updates that we didn't read before this. My tonsillitis has fully cleared up, so I am feeling almost back to normal physically. I left my husband. What? Wow, she did leave her husband. Well done. Well played. Let's see how this goes, though. Me and my son, I hope it all goes well, but let's see. Me and my son are staying with family in a different part of the country, so we are safe and are managing. My husband did get very angry when I told him that I was leaving. He tried to stop me from leaving with our son, puts hands on me, and threatened to end his Minecraft account. My mom intervened, and like I said, we are safe. Wow, that is the true sign of what this person actually is like. The fact that he put his hands on you. I have some time off of work now, so I will continue to take my time to recover emotionally and plan my next steps. Thank you for everyone who read this so far. I doubt that there will be any more updates after this. Wow. The chair thing is insane. Absolutely bonkers. Yeah, for real. If you're with a partner and like, instead of him like trying to help you, he's like, no, I'm gonna sit on this chair until it breaks. Like, bro, what are you, 5 years old? Wow, that was a crazy start. What a crazy start to AITAH. Like, this is why I love this subreddit. It's always insane stories. Okay, this one's an interesting one. Could be political. AITA for saying no child support, no opinion. Let's see. I'll just give it from my perspective. I'm not an expert in this topic. 17. Wow, 17 is saying this. Think I might have to explain how I was born for context. My mom has two friends. I'll call them Amelia and Jessica. Jessica's husband cheated on her with Amelia. Whoa, hold up. Your mom is friends with two people and one of them cheated with the other's husband? That's insane. Jessica's husband cheated on her with Amelia, getting her pregnant, but Jessica forgave them. What is your mom's friends? Why are they all friends? What the hell? Then he cheated on her with my mom. Who is this man? Can we talk about this man for a second? He is hanging out with all three of the homies, and the fact that all three of your mom, Amelia and Jessica, are willing to be with this one guy is crazy. They're like, at this point, just accept polygamy or something. Like, what? Jessica still forgave him. What? Jessica, don't do this yourself. Why are you doing this to yourself? Have some self-respect. Justin Bieber and love yourself, Still forgave him and forgave my mom, which makes me think she's probably the most forgiving person on the planet, or just an idiot. Anyways, my mom insisted that Jessica's husband is my father. but he always denied it. Up until several months ago when he realized how much we looked alike. So he agreed to get a DNA test. Turns out he is my father. Two affair children by two different women for him. That is crazy. This guy is the worst. He has been visiting about once a month, but things are still awkward between us. I was reading a romance novel when he told me I'm too young for those books and said I must stop reading them. Brother, you just now became my dad, dog. Chill. I told him I won't, but he said I would have to listen to him since he is my father. So I said, no child support, no opinion. Oh, yeah, for real. So dudes hasn't been paying child support for, I mean, you could, theoretically, I think your mom could take him to court, no? He seemed pretty stung by it. Was it too much? What? Hell no. Dude has no opinion because he hasn't been there for you for 17 of your years of your life. What the fuck? Not the a-hole at all. He may be your father, but he isn't your dad. Also, what the freak? You're almost an adult. He can't just butt into your life near adulthood and try to parent. You did nothing wrong. Can we stop and like, I feel like we've all grazed over the fact that Amelia, Jessica, and your mom are in like a harem. Like, this is insane. What the, like who, this is a real scenario? Like, this is crazy. This is the kind of stuff you see in like telenovelas. Not the a-hole, you're 17, not 13. He didn't get to swoop into the third act and pretend like he's always been around. It doesn't even have to do with child support, but you get a bonus points for the clap back. Love the energy. Yeah, that was crazy. What the hell? This one's a juicy one. Am I the a-hole for refusing to become my stepsister's guardian when my stepdad and mom can't? When I already agreed to being my brother's. Okay, sounds kind of confusing so far. My brother, who's 14, and my stepsister, who are 12, both require full-time caretakers because of their autism. Both are nonverbal. Oh, damn, that's unfortunate. My brother has the ability to do some stuff for himself, but he can't ever care for himself. And one day he'll need to be placed in a proper facility that can provide care for him. I, who's 18, male, always knew that it would fall on me to take over guardianship someday and to make sure he's in a good place and cared for well and to visit. My younger sister, 13, has promised. So there's another sister. Yeah. So this is your actual sister, not stepsister. My younger sister has always promised to help me, but neither my mom or I want it to fall on her. Yeah, she's so young. She's 13, dude. She's literally younger than your brother who has the autism. That's crazy. Very sweet of her and kind-hearted. My dad passed when my brother and sister were really young, so I've always tried to help when I can. Damn, dude, you're literally the man of the house, bro. That's crazy, bro. Hey, big ups to you, though, for stepping up, man. Like, at 18, that's crazy. You must have grown up really fast because of this. When I was 13, also sorry for your loss with your father. When I was 13, my mom met my stepdad. He had 2 daughters, and his oldest had autism, too. She's a lot like my brother, but has not got the skills my brother has, and she requires a little bit more care than my brother. There was a difficulty from the start from when my stepdad hated to see me help my brother and care for him so well, but I never offered to do the same for my stepsister. Well, it's not your fault because you didn't ask to be in this relationship, you know? He would ask, and I usually say up front I couldn't go from helping my brother to my stepsister because I needed to focus on school and I needed downtime. Yeah, dude, he didn't ask to be in this family, dog. It would be generous for you to even help at all, but you're not entitled to, or he's not entitled to your help just because he ended up sleeping with your mom or getting together with your mom. He asked me to choose my stepsister instead of my brother at times, and I told him I couldn't do that. Yeah, how did he not know that? It's your actual, like, kin. He told me his younger daughter, 9, is too young to help out, and I told him he'd need to figure out an alternative. Or he could take care of him, like a actual father would. No? Like, what? You're his actual dad. At some point, he and my mom talked about what would happen to my brother when mom's too sick or passes, and they somehow came up with the idea that because I take guardianship of my brother, I do the same for my stepsister. What? Well, when you're 18, well, you are 18, so you have a legal right to your own, like, say on this. I only found out this when my stepdad mentioned the fact that I needed to get to know my stepsister better so that I can advocate for her better. Because it wouldn't be fair for my brother to get better care because I know him and what he needs. That's when I was like, what the hell are you even talking about? And then he brought up my mom and they said that they expected me to do the same for both. Mom asked me, Could I honestly make sure that my brother's okay? I told her, yeah, because he's my brother, and it's a big responsibility that will require me to keep watch over everything, and to make sure he's being treated well and staying healthy, and will mean being with him when he gets sick and stuff. My stepdad said I'm perfectly capable of doing it for both when won't be taking care of them day to day, and that it was disgusting that I'd let his daughter rot. What? I told him I won't let his daughter rot, that if he refuses for someone else, that'd be on him. Yeah, for real, what the hell? They're really pissed about it now, and I'm wondering, am I the asshole? Hell no. What? You're not saying you don't care. You're just saying you know your limits. That's not selfish. Yeah, what are they entitled to your life? Every human being, whether a parent wants to admit it or not, is their own human being. No human being has the right to another human being's time and life. It is nice for family to be together. It's nice for all this, but in the grand scheme of things, with an exception of like having a sane mind and stuff, no one has entitlement to someone else's life at all. Bro, you're 18, dog. Crazy. Yeah, it sounds like the stepdad's a big ass a-hole. This is a really big ask to take on one child, let alone two. Your mom and your stepdad need to step back, or do they have a backup plan for these kids that don't involve you? Yeah, for real. Yeah, they can't put that on you. It's one thing for you to step up, and it's amazing that you did, but they can't just force you to do something, bro. All right, this one has to be blurred. The title of this one says, am I the a-hole for not paying for my friend's dinner when she called me a PDF file? What the freak? All right, let's see. Last time I posted on Reddit, I received some wonderful advice, and I even suggested my friend do the same. She's using my throwaway account now. I, who's a 29 female, moved into my current apartment 2 years ago. We have an elderly neighbor who is in her late 70s who mostly keeps to herself. She gets her groceries and medicines delivered every week, but the delivery boy only drops paper on the ground floor. Before I moved in, she used to pay me sometimes, she used to pay some neighborhood kids to pick it up for her, but they moved away shortly after I arrived. So I started bringing her to paper every day. Oh, that's very nice of you. I usually ring the doorbell and leave it at her door, but when the door is already open, we sometimes have a little chat. She often insists I come in for coffee and always thanks me warmly. I noticed her apartment is filled with pictures of her grandson, probably more than 20. To be honest, I thought he was the cutest baby I'd ever seen. The photos range from his baby days to what it looks like his 21st birthday. I assumed he was around that age, but never asked because she never mentioned it. About a year after I moved in, I saw an incredibly attractive guy in our building. I was about 70% sure that this was the same kid from the pictures, though he looked older than I expected. When he introduced himself, I found out I was right. We started talking whenever he visited his grandmother, and soon we began dating. Oh, this is a cute love story. I guess I don't have to blur this part, but I will have to blur it soon. We've been together for 8 months now. He's met my parents and everything. Wow, what a turn of events. This is a crazy, you really never know who you meet, when you meet your partner, and where. He's met my parents and everything. Things have been going well. Last week, I wanted him to meet my college friends and my twin sister who currently is in town. We all went out to dinner. Although it wasn't explicitly discussed, it was kind of assumed that I would cover the bill. Usually when someone introduces their boyfriend to the group, the couple pays. Oh, okay. Like you and your boyfriend pay? I don't know. That's interesting. I would just split checks, but interesting. The dinner went really well. I'm going to have to blur this part for a little bit. The dinner went really well. My friends, a group of 4, and my sister all seemed genuinely happy for us. I was sharing the story of how I met him and his grandmother. At some point, my boyfriend stepped away to take a call. That's when my friend suddenly called me a PDF file. My friend Sarah. What the hell? I was honestly shocked. When I asked her if she was serious, she just said, I know a PDF file when I see one. I was so disturbed by her words that I excused myself. I paid the bill except for Sarah and left with my boyfriend. Dude, honestly, hell yeah. I would do the same shit. Like, why the fuck would she say that? He's a grown-ass man. You were just saying you saw his pictures of a baby. Everybody does that. Sarah's just jealous, bro. She's never been in a relationship. Everybody's seen pictures of their partners like as a kid, and they're like, oh, that's adorable, Most of the time. It'd be crazy if it was like, that's an ugly-ass baby. Sorry if the audio is catching my coughs. Later, she messaged me saying that besides being a PDF file, I'm also petty and cheap. It really hurt. Well, she can fucking learn how to not be rude. I absolutely despise abusers, especially, yeah, okay, so PDF files. So being called something like that has taken a serious emotional toll on me. I'm disgusted by her and the whole situation. What's been bugging me even more is that Sarah has dealt with someone that was when she was a child. So now I keep questioning myself, did I do something wrong? Hell no. What? My sister and two of my friends are standing by me. Another friend said that she didn't think that I was one. And she finds it a bit creepy that I saw him. Oh, but she did find it a bit creepy that I saw him as a baby before we met. Brother, it's as if she asked to see it. You just happened to go in, see some baby picture. Oh, that's cute. That's not the reason you started talking to this guy. The guy happened to be a fucking handsome ass dude. What are you talking about? My boyfriend he's 30. Like, you met him when you were 30. That's crazy. My boyfriend who's 30 actually found it funny at first, but after seeing how upset I've been, he's been reassuring me and telling me how it's not weird at all. I don't know what to do. I know I'm not a PDF, but it's been really upsetting to me, seen as one by someone I once trusted. English is not my first language, so pardon me for any mistakes. Well, it looks like you need to not be friends with Sarah, because anyone who is that's crazy. Yeah, it's the older and older you get, the more you realize you don't need to be bending over back for people who are just gonna bring negativity in your life. Someone in the comments said, you did Sarah a favor by teaching her that bizarre accusations attract consequences. Yeah, literally. Oh, no consequences indeed. Let's see what else. Not the a-hole. Sarah's insane. Unless you said you found his baby pictures more, arousing than you find him now as an adult, then her comments are absolutely absurd and well past any sort of normal. Yeah, I agree. It's not like you literally just said like you saw his baby pictures and you're like, oh, cute. Like, that's normal. But like, you see a baby picture, you're like, oh, that's a cute baby. Crazy. Whoa, what is this one? Let's read this one. Am I the a-hole for, this would be the last one, unless you're a Patreon member, we'll read like one or two more. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I want a divorce after she gave me a concussion? What? After work, I was playing with my son and went to the kitchen to throw out a diaper. When I walked into the room, my wife started shouting at me, claiming I haven't been doing anything since I got home. Mind you, I had just spent 2 hours cleaning the kitchen, washed dishes, and picked up the living room and putting my daughter in the bed before going to the living room to play with my son while I continued to pick up. Dang, that's crazy. So it sounds like you were doing a lot. I was frustrated by her comment and asked her what she meant and outlined everything I had been doing. I left the room and started to walk upstairs to my living room, and I was struck in the side of a head with a sealed cardboard box weighing about 2 pounds. What? Even if, like, regardless of you cleaning or not, what the hell would warrant you hitting your husband? Like, what in the domestic, like, what? I'm actually baffled that was her response. This was about from 15 feet away and was thrown at full force, so I was dazed at the moment. After confronting her about why she did this, she continued to yell at me and didn't show any concern. Yeah, it sounds like you were with someone that is not somebody you need to be with. Upset and in quite a bit of pain, I went to sit with my son and process what had just happened. After about 45 minutes, I was experiencing a growing headache and having some problems with the muscle in the right side of my face and jaw. I gave her my son, and I told her I had to go to the ER because something wasn't right. I ended up spending the night in a hotel, and the next day began contacting resourced and scheduling following medical and mental health appointments. Damn, the fact that you slept, and if this ended up being concussion, that is really risky. The headache lasted about 8 days, and I experienced a wide range of symptoms related to head injuries. I missed over a full week of work, and it has been pretty difficult navigating all my emotions while recovering and experiencing some bizarre cognitive issues. Needless to say, I've been keeping my distance from my wife while I've been recovering. Over the last few years, I've also been dealing with regular emotional abuse in the form of insults, constant belittling, and threats of violence. Threats of divorce. So it seems like she was giving you all the red flags. I'm not going to blame you for staying because everybody, they get in different situations and they get stuck and there's kids involved. There's a lot of things. But I mean, if there isn't a sign that you should leave, I think hitting you with the box might be. I mean, think outside the box a little bit, buddy. Not just play. This is not the time to be joking. This is probably the 6th incident of, oh, wow, this is the 6th incident. Okay, at this point, like, brother, at what point did you realize you needed to leave? Like this has to be the one, right? Behavior from her in the last 7 years, one for almost every year. And the only time that she used an object, and I have serious concern that this was the only time that she used an object. And I have serious concern that she could have easily just thrown something that could have broken my skull. I'm now concerned about what would happen next time. And I'm not willing to wait and find out to realize I should have left a long time ago. She had no diagnosis of mental health disorders, but how out of control she is when she is angry is now very alarming, and it seems to be escalating. Additionally, she refuses to apologize for any of the words or actions she meant since I met her, even after I diagnosed concussion. Okay, so he did have a concussion. Damn, it's crazy that he slept on that. All she will say regarding the event is things like, I didn't mean it. I can't aim that well. Yeah, get the fuck out of that, bro. What are you, like, even after the first incident, you should have been gone. No form of, like, physical, even emotional, is warranted. Like, I don't know, unless it's completely by accident, like, I can't just imagine, which that wouldn't be actual physical, because then that was an accident. That's completely different. Over the last week, I was essentially living in a blacked out bedroom and listening to audiobooks between my frequent naps. Up to yesterday, I have avoided engaging her in conversation or anything that seemed to be baiting into an argument. I don't have the mental or emotional capacity to handle an emotionally charged conversation and wanted to focus on my recovery. Last night, I told her that I've been walking on eggshells around her for the last year. I'm not comfortable being around her, and I don't see there any way to mend this relationship after this. I just don't see myself being able to emotionally open up to someone who has injured me ever. Exactly. Her response has been to schedule marriage counseling, and she keeps making strange comments about how I have been willing to make it work for counseling to be effective. Or I have to be willing to. Dude, might be beyond counseling, buddy. You literally hit him and cause him to go to, like, the doc. She don't seem to be... I think she needs to get therapy for herself, just in general. She don't seem to have the ability to understand that this won't ever be water under the bridge, and she's destroyed what was left of our relationship, which isn't much, as there has been no physical intimacy in 2 years. That's insane. I mean, at what point, like, due to some medical implications from the pregnancy and our birth of our son. Oh, so that was the reason behind the physical intimacy. Interesting. She refused any physical contact, and lately I have been struggling with the idea of continuing to live this strange celibate lifestyle for the sake of maintaining a stable home for my children. Yeah, you got to worry about yourself. And actually, in a way, that is worrying for your kids, because your kid doesn't deserve to live in a situation where his parents have to be like this, I've been open about this with close friends and mentors, and know I need to leave because DV rarely stops, and I want better for myself and my children. I decided to pursue divorcing her, and I think a large part of telling so many people is to force my own hand due to the embarrassment and shame that staying with her would cause. I told the therapist this, and I want his help in navigating towards my goal. But I'm having a very hard time. I'm struggling with the idea of tearing my family apart and the effect it will have for my 4-year-old daughter. Today, she was being unusually sweet and wanted to sit with me. When I refused, she made me out to be the a-hole and accused me of not wanting to try. I feel like, dude, this is beyond you trying, dude. I feel like I'm being heavily manipulated, and desire to be the peacemaker and nurturer is being twisted against me. When I mentioned that, she got highly offended and accused me of wanting to destroy our family. This has been a wild experience and has been difficult to process. I have no experience of emotional or physical in a relationship prior to this. Am I being the a-hole for refusing to entertain opening up to her, or particularly in couples therapy due to fear of being manipulated? Should I stick to what I know to do intellectually, or completely ignore my emotions and stick to my initial instinct to leave her? Buddy, you're not the a-hole. You might be dumb, but you're not the a-hole. And I'm not trying to be that mean. It's a little silly that you stayed for this long after all the tells and stuff. But, I can't judge you. Everybody's been in situations where they don't want to give up and stuff. But look, if there hasn't been a sign for you to leave, a 2-pound box going to your head and you having to go to docs, it has to be, dude. Follow up. I can't believe the level of support that I've gotten since posting this. Most of you guys shared the same message, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so it sounds like everybody gave him the right advice. There was quite a bit of thoughtful advice and many points I have considered. I've made up my mind to stick with my intuition and move on from this relationship. Good for you. My biggest concern is now for my children, and I haven't really considered what would happen to them if she didn't have me out as an outlet for her anger. This afternoon, I spoke to a highly recommended attorney, and she agreed to represent me and is helping to file a protection order. Good for you. I really appreciate that. You know, I hope that he gets full custody because she does not need to be around children. Yep, that was crazy. AITAH, guys. Always some interesting and wild stories on this one. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you're a Patreon member, I'll see you guys there. If not, no problem. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.